Okay, so what I'd like you to do first of all is just to think about some of the stereotypes that you have heard about Aboriginal or Indigenous people or Indians, whether or not you believe them to be true, but just some of the ones that you've heard of or are circulating out there in culture, okay? And then I'm going to write down some of these ideas. Again, I'm not looking at you and thinking you actually believe these are to be true, but what are some of the notions that you've heard? Yeah.
Free gas.
Yeah, that's right. Other ones? Yeah.
Spiritual.
Okay.
Warriors.
Okay. Just shout them out if you think of some.
That all are in touch with nature.
Okay, close to nature. Yeah.
Alcoholics.
Alcoholics.
How about the they don't want an education, they don't want to improve themselves, that kind of I guess, is it lazy or?
Lazy. Okay. Well, these are a few. I mean, there's many others. Too many others. One of the things that you notice right away, though, is that it's not really that there is truth or falsity to the stereotype. You could probably point out an example of any of these. Well, maybe not free gas, but certainly not gas that's not taxed, tax exemptions. But a lot of these, the problem is that it's an overgeneralization. So there's a sense that all members of that group share this characteristic. So if you know one lazy Indian, it somehow speaks that the entire cultural group is lazy as a culture. And that's kind of where stereotypes both get their power and also why they're so hard to counter and combat, because of this idea that you can actually point to different reference in reality and say, well, you see, there's someone who's lazy, or there is someone who's alcoholic. But without looking at the broader kind of context that leads to those actions or activities, we lose sight of the bigger picture. Now, the other thing that I found interesting about this, I was trying to I probably should put the gas one over here, but there's also there's negative stereotypes and there's positive stereotypes, but they both end up causing harm. And I think it's important to notice that although the notion of being spiritual or being close to nature probably seems like, well, that's a compliment. Why would you not want to embrace that? Well, the problem is, again, as an overgeneralization, it sets a standard or an ideal that is very hard to maintain or reach as any one individual. So to characterize the entire culture that way, whenever any one person strays from that ideal, then it's like they are not fitting within that norm, that parameter, the limits that have been set for that cultural group. And so it sets kind of a standard that can't really be maintained. The other thing, too, is that it denies full humanity as well. So again, that's one of the reasons why stereotypes are problematic